Hi, so I'm back again. This is now going to be about my 8-year-old son who's going into year 4. He is using teaching textbooks math 4 at the moment, so he is working a grade above because that would be year 5 level. He did math 3, which is the first one teaching textbooks do. He did it in about 5 months, and so we've just gone on to the next level. Although there is a few things we've added in because I was just a bit anxious that maybe he was a bit behind. So the few things that we've added in, and you would have seen these for my 6-year-old as well, is tell the time. He has been answering the questions correctly fine, but then I noticed when he doesn't have multiple choice, that's when he struggles. So we're going to use this game as sort of a fun way to encourage that. Also, I showed this for my 6-year-old as well, but I'll just quickly get both of them. Because it's an American curriculum, we skip the money lessons. There's lessons on money. So we've got the pocket money bingo, which uses English money, and Hop to the Shops, which also uses English money. So they're both useful just to make sure that he's getting those coin recognitions. And also we have lots of toy money and they love playing shops and things, so I think that helps. Other stuff for maths, I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss anything. I think that's everything for maths because he has the curriculum. We're pretty comfortable with that. It's all done on the tablet. If you don't know what teaching textbooks is, it's a short video that they watch and then they answer questions, and then there's quizzes every so often, and he's doing really well for it with it. So then I'll move on to English. First of all, I'll start with reading. So he is not a keen reader. He's absolutely fine. His level is fine. He just doesn't love it. He's reading in his own time a Minecraft novel series. And it seems like a good level. He does kind of enjoy it, but it still needs a lot of encouragement. So for our first unit study for him, my 8-year-old and my 12-year-old, we're actually going to do a novel study from the Homeeduk way. And I'll see if I can sort of post a picture of what it's going to be like because I haven't printed it all yet. But we're going to do it on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And if you look out for my unit study video that I'm hopefully bringing out soon, I'll discuss some other novel studies that we're going to hopefully do. This will take us 6 weeks. Well, that's the plan, but obviously we might miss days here and there because the way it works is it's a 5-day week, so it might take more like 7 weeks. We'll see. So we're going to be reading this together, me and him. My 12-year-old will read it independently. She has her own copy. And then the activities, there's an English activity every single day. Some of it's a lot more writing than others. And so with that in mind, and because I'm not using a curriculum for my 8-year-old, what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop these activities, which I'm mentioning now. So we've got, these were all in my haul video, the ad libs, where he has to pick the words and then put them in the story and it makes a funny story. One day on top of his novel study, he will pick this or this, which is write your own storybook. We have like the comic book one and different ones, so he might also, depends like what he wants to do. We will also have another day that he does Draw Right Now, which if you don't know what these books are, I have done another video which I haven't released yet about how I'm teaching them English without a curriculum. But this is copy work, and then this is a little drawing tutorial, which he loves these. He loves Draw with Rob. So I thought he'd be into that. And then just like my 6-year-old, if you saw that video, he hasn't started this yet, but he will be doing his copy work in here. Then on a different day, he will do either this white clean grammar and punctuation, or this, it's got his name on, so I'm just holding it up, or this Key Stage 2 English Grammar, Punctuation and Spelling Year 3. So he'll pick a few pages from that. I'm just making sure there's nothing else. He will also be doing, I think I mentioned it for my 6-year-old, cutting skills. So I'll just print them as and when, but he needs to work on his fine motor skills as well. So he will be doing that. And then on the same day that he does, so if he decides he doesn't want to do the draw right now, sorry, he can pick to do the story cubes. So he can make funny sentences, maybe begin a story. So they are 4 days worth, so I'm trying to sort of like explain. So he can, I've got it right I think, he can do this or this on one day, this or this on one day, 3 days, sorry, and this or this on one day. And then on the 4th day, the 4th looping thing is Night Zookeeper. So all 3 of my children have Night Zookeeper. My youngest doesn't really use it yet, but my older 2 use it quite a lot. So he can just go on Night Zookeeper and use it. The only other things that I forgot to mention for maths were this. It's like just a fun little thing. His times tables isn't great, so it's really hard to show you on the camera, but it has the numbers here and across up to 12, and it's the times tables. So I thought we could just do some fun like recall activities to practice that. And then the final thing for maths was this cute kitten math, which again I went through in my haul, but it's about adopting kittens, and there's all sorts of math in the book, and that will just be a bit of fun. I think that's everything core. I'm trying to look and make sure core subject wise. He has got really into his watercolor painting, and so I bought him a watercolor book and some paints and everything, and this will just be if he wants to watch a tutorial here and there, he'll do that. As I mentioned, for my 6-year-old, they do history together, and I'll just show again in this video in case you didn't watch that or you're not interested in that one. So we're doing the story of the world, and for each chapter we listen like an audiobook on YouTube, and for each chapter there is a colouring sheet which my boys do while they listen, and then it's a map, so it's a bit of like geography, which I love because it kind of lets them know where it is the story's taking place. And then for each chapter again, there's oral questions to ask and just kind of have that conversation. You can make your kids write it down, but I just speak to them about it. Then there's narration exercises. So again, if I wanted him to do some more copy work or he hadn't that day, he could do narration from the history and additional history reading and literature that we could find from the library maybe. And then they do the map work, so they find like the country or the river, for example. And then there's always projects. Now we pick about 1 project per chapter. So far we have done the cave painting, and we're only like into chapter 4 now, I think. We've done the cave painting and we've made our River Nile, which I've done 2 short videos on. And then we are hoping to do the clay tablets with hieroglyphs on. That's the next thing we're going to do. But I've just kind of highlighted an activity for each one. We have also decided, and I didn't mention that in my 6-year-old video, but I think I'm going to do a separate video on it. We've decided to include paw print badges as part of our home ed this year. Paw print badges are really wonderful because you as the teacher or parent decide when your child has done enough to earn the badge. So it's really at your discretion. You purchase the badges. They give this free PDF download which has loads of suggestions for exercises and activities to do, and they pick 1 from each category, so craft, cooking, that kind of thing. And the older they are, the more they have to do, basically. But one of the ones we're going to do is on ancient Egypt, because there's so much in the history that we already will be doing towards that. So there'll be activities for that as well. And that's just a really fun thing to add, and a little reward they're going to get is the little badge. So I'll try and link that below because it's a really lovely addition, and they have badges on all sorts, from like hot chocolate to pizza to otters. Like, they literally have it on so many different things. So if you were doing a unit study that kind of tied into one of those, you could definitely add it in. And again, you don't have to follow the suggested activities. If you think there's one that's better suited for your child, you could do that instead, and that's up to you. It's your child, and you know when they've worked, you know, hard for something and deserve the reward. So yeah, that's history that we do with my youngest and my middle child together. And again, what I was saying with that is he's doing this, he's also, for art, he's doing this, he's also doing the draw right now, so he'll be drawing with that. He does lots of art in his history. So yeah, so I think that's really lovely. And then unit studies, again, I mentioned them for my 6-year-old. He's currently doing a money unit study with his sister, and that's why we haven't yet started the novel study. But yeah, next he'll be doing that novel study. I am going to try and make it so that not every single unit study we've done in a row is like literature based or history based or science based. Obviously they do history, but I think it'll be either literature or science. The only other things that he will be doing science-wise, add in here and there, is this just Science Essentials workbook, if he wants to do a little bit, and this Minecraft Science and Environment official workbook. But that's everything curriculum-wise, I think, for my 8-year-old. No, it isn't. So the only other thing I haven't mentioned for him is we've got some, you would have seen them in my main haul, I'm not going to grab them now, but we've got some Think Fun Logical games. I just think logic is a really good thing to add in. And yeah, it's just a fun add-in. So we got 3 games from them. We got the laser one, the circuits one, and the roller coaster one. And I just think that would be like a fun thing for him to do independently, because it's a 1-player game that's not screen time. And the reason I mention that is because he has created his own YouTube channel. I'm not gonna link it below because we want it to be anonymous and everything because he's only 8. And the reason I think it's a positive thing is he's been learning so much about editing. He's been doing it all by himself, like editing it and doing all that, and that's great, and it's something he's really passionate about. But I want there to be logic, not just on screens. That's just a me thing. I think screens are great for so many things, but because he's doing his maths curriculum on a screen as well, I just want to kind of make sure he's having enough to do off the screen to sort of draw him off the screen really as well. So yeah, that's everything for my 8-year-old. She's going into year 4. Again, this is new to me, doing English without a curriculum, and we will just see how we go. I think my aim is to see come January how much I feel we're getting done, and if I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, then we will look back into a curriculum. But the Good and the Beautiful language arts just wasn't working for us, and again, I'll try and go into that in another video. But let's move on to my 12-year-old. So the next video will be my 12-year-old's curriculum picks.